right, good morning. Figured I'd go live here real quick. I gotta clean up my muzzleloader. I was out, currently muzzleloader season. I was out on Saturday, which is the opener, and I shot 2 does with one of my sons. My other son was set up in a blind by himself with a crossbow. He got a doe. So been pretty busy here processing meat and working because I still have a full-time job and all that good stuff. That thing zoom. Yeah, let's do that. Change that angle up a little bit. But yeah, so like I said, they get a few shots fired with this, so I need to take my muzzleloader apart and get it cleaned because I am going back out today. Originally, I took can't speak. Sorry, took Wednesday and Thursday off of this week so that I could get out and try to hunt. But again, that's not anticipating we're gonna rack up with 3 of them on day 1. So I'm gonna go out today though instead, and what I'll be doing is number one, fixing one of our stands because I'm not sure what happened with it. Maybe somebody got in it, maybe the tree shifted, who knows, but it ended up shifting, so now it's kind of in a weird position. So I need to get out and fix that. Been needing to fix that. And I've got a second stand I'm gonna set up. It's actually been on the farm since last season. The farmers want us to, take our stands down so they don't kill the trees or any of that stuff. So, a firing pin right there. So yeah, I gotta go put it up. And in fact, what I think I'm gonna do is set it up. There's a stand, old stand that they have on the property that's like grown into a tree. It's real old. I'm gonna put the one that's laying on the ground next to that, so on the same tree. That way my son can sit in it, my younger son, and then I can sit in the old school stand and kind of guide him through trying to hunt, because we've been doing blind hunting, and I like it. That works. But so yeah, I'm gonna go out and do that today. But while I'm out, I'm gonna go ahead and take this muzzleloader with me, CVA Wolf, and if anything happens to walk out on me, we'll go ahead and take a shot at it. But like I said, this thing is pretty fouled up from the shots that we took on Saturday. So I'm gonna get it cleaned up nice and neat here, and yeah, see what we can do today. Maybe something will walk out. Now, like I said, I am gonna be going back out again tomorrow too, because I took tomorrow off. Since we already harvested a couple does, I might just actually take my compound bow, sit in a stand, and try to see if I can't get a buck, because where I'm at here in Pennsylvania, you can't shoot bucks with muzzleloaders. So that's a thing we deal with. But I'm gonna go ahead and run the wire brush through first. I always like to do that. Got some foul in there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get my patch. I'll just take out a whole stack of these. I need a bunch. Working kind of a tight spot, so I apologize here if it looks a little disorganized. Get that off there. I'm gonna be jumping off here in just a few minutes too. I gotta take my wife up somewhere. Now, unfortunately, I like to use, if you're familiar with muzzleloading, they make like a part soaker. My part soaker apparently went bad, so I'm just gonna be using my barrel solvent on all my little components here, firing pin, all the little parts that go with that, my breech plug. The part soaker thing is great. But again, unfortunately, it's just not an option at this moment. Where to put my handle at? I'll go ahead and just get a little, actually, let me put a little bit on a towel here. Go ahead and just run some of that in here. Start breaking some of that fouling off. So, all right, so we'll let that just sit. Okay, so I said, I'm gonna take my patch. I'm gonna just run that through, and what I'll probably do is I'll probably run maybe 2 of these through, and after that, let it sit for a few minutes. So yeah, it's pretty dirty. Let that sit for a few minutes. Then I'll go ahead and run the wire brush through a couple times. Then run a clean patch through and see what we're looking at. Actually, you know, just for the heck of it, I'm gonna run one more. And while that's soaking, I'll work on cleaning up some of these other smaller parts. I already poured a little bit on this breech plug earlier. I can already see it's breaking up. All right, so I'm gonna run that through one more time. All right. Wouldn't imagine that's gonna show up very well. Maybe you can see, but it's dirty. It's real dirty. Yeah, it's already looking great in the barrel though. Get this stuff cleaned up real quick too. I tell you what, I don't know if any of y'all shoot muzzleloaders. Oh, hey all games, I'm cleaning my muzzleloader. It was well, it is currently muzzleloader season here in Pennsylvania. And if you've ever shot muzzleloader, you know they get extremely filthy. That's probably the one of the big downsides to muzzleloaders is unlike with smokeless powder that you're using like a just traditional bullet. These things, you get that black smoke, it's cool, but you also end up with a ton of fouling and just nasty stuff in your barrel. You might have actually just seen me hold that up. See, it's a lot cleaner now. Just gave it that little wipe with one of these patches that are soaked in my solvent. But like I just said, I went ahead and ran some of the solvent through the barrel, and I'm gonna let that soak for just a couple minutes here. And while that's soaking, I've now got my breech plug, components for my firing pin. I'm gonna go ahead and get those cleaned up as well. So I'm using just some CVA parts cleaner, barrel blaster solvent. They make some other stuff too that's like this nice foaming. Well, nice foaming action. What you do is you spray it in the barrel. So instead of doing what I just did, it's just like fills out, and you just let that sit in there for whatever 10 minutes or so. But it's really important to clean this too, because this gunk that you get from the gunpowder, it is extremely corrosive, and your muzzleloader will rust really, really, really bad if you do not clean it up. And in fact, you can probably see there, the camera at, that's from this little firing pin. So just for me doing that a couple days ago and just letting it sit, it's already got a small amount of rust build up on it. But give that a nice wipe here, and that'll be good to go. Now, like I said, normally, I mentioned this earlier, I don't normally sit and do these individually like this, because normally I have something called a parts cleaner. Yeah, I see the inside, but I can't see the inside of that's real dirty too. What you do is with the parts cleaner, you can just drop it into the parts cleaner bucket, let it soak while you're doing all the other stuff I was just doing. And then at that point, you just come through with a little brush and clean everything up and you're good to go. Hey, thanks for the like. All right, so see, and I've got these little brushes here. It's like a tube, you know, it's like a pipe cleaner you get in school, right? Except there's like little wire bristles. I don't know if that's gonna come up. I don't think that'll come up on camera. There's like wire bristles also embedded in this, so you take that, stick that in that little, I don't know what that part's called, but it holds the firing pin in place. I put some solvent in there. I'm just gonna run it right through. Let that wire brush, give it some nice scraping. All right. Oh yeah. Dude, it's pristine. I like it. All right. And then same thing here too. There's a little firing pin spring. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit that real quick. A little bit of this parts cleaner. We'll do the exact same thing. So I'm just gonna take it and just run it right through that. You can see that tip, how dirty that tip is. So run that through. Perfect. All right, so my firing pin assembly is all clean. I gotta watch the time too. I'm gonna be jumping off here in a minute because I gotta take my wife somewhere real quick and I'll be hopping back on. All right, so there's my breech plug now. I've already put the solvent on here. This is the part, there we go, that's already coming out clean. So this is the part where the gunpowder, or in this case, this is a breech plug for like pellets that are gunpowder. They make a different one that's got a wider hole in the middle for your igniter. But that's where that sits, and your bullet sits on top of that. Primer goes in the back, it shoots. But that was pretty filthy. You see right there, the little ring that just came off. I'm going to grab a fresh one right quick. Okay. So, go ahead and give that a little scrub here. See what I'm doing there. All I'm doing is just spinning along. Got my fingernail in there along the edge. Oh, that's beautiful. See, it's nice and shiny now. Now, one thing you do want to check is, like I said, there's a hole in the middle here, and as of right now, I can't see through that hole. So that means that it's got some fouling in there. Got some specialized tools for that. This is called a pick. Just got this little wire thing that comes out. And what you can do there is just pick through that hole and just scrape it. Just like that. Okay. So I'm starting to see through it. Not real well though. It's still pretty dark in there. So I'm gonna put some more solvent in there. And I'm just gonna let that soak for just a few minutes here. Now while that's soaking, come through from the other side again with this. Got the other side that's a little bit cleaner. I'm just gonna run it right in there as far as it'll go. Kind of the same thing, just gonna twist. Twist, twist, twist. You can see how dirty that is. Oh yeah, that hole's starting to come through now. Okay, so I might grab a fresh one here in a second. Like I said, the solvent, man, look at that, that came out real dirty too. This part soaker is way better for this. I definitely like using that a lot more, but again, I went to use it today and figured out it was bad, so it is what it is. You know, you just gotta work through that stuff. But all right, perfect. So I got this thing soaking. I might need another brush here. I got another one of these, fresh one. I got this little guy here. So I can see where I'm trying to get the excuse me, losing my voice. Trying to get that parts cleaner through. All right, so again, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to put that into the breech plug. Twist it around. Oh yeah, it's coming out way better. So it's still dirty, but it's definitely getting cleaner. So that's what we want to see. Yeah, that one looks a lot better. I'll go ahead and take this brush here, and I'm gonna run it in this little slot. It doesn't really go very far in there. I'm just cleaning the bigger circle because there's like kind of, to explain it here, like three circles. You get this larger outer circle as it goes into the tube. There's a wider circle that this fits into. Then it breaks down to a smaller circle, which is where this pick is going to come into play. And while I got this here, I'll go ahead and just rub the patch, the outside. And all right, now I'm going to get my pick back in play here. Just going to poke that all the way through. Sorry, I'm not showing this on camera. I got to kind of specifically dig into this since I can't see through it. Because it's very important that this thing is clean and functioning. Because the last thing I want to do is go to pull on a deer, pop it, primer goes off, and nothing shoots. All right, so that should be solid. Oh yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we're good. We're good. It's a nice, solid cleaning on that. So I'm going to go ahead and just flip that up like this, set it down. That way any extra stuff can drip out. And then when I put this back together, I'll show you that. Like I said, I got to leave here in a couple minutes and come back, but use anti-seize on that as well. That's a really important step, because if you don't, once you put all this back together and you maybe got a shooter or whatever, like I said, these things are super susceptible to rust. So if there's any little bit of gunpowder on that or fouling, you go to untwist the breech plug and it will not come out. So, alrighty. So let me throw my trash away. That's the thing about muzzleloaders too. You always end up with a nice pile of stuff. And we are going to have more stuff. So, where to put my handle? There we go. All right, so go ahead. So I got my handle, butt of my stock. This is where the whole firing mechanism is. Again, I already rubbed this down a little bit. Just want to make sure there's not any gunpowder, fouling, anything like that in here. And then once I'm done cleaning the barrel and I put this all back together, I will be putting some of this lube on it as well, which is going to help keep everything from rusting and keep everything functioning fine. But that should be good right there. Go ahead and put that down. And just doing a quick time check here. I might be able to might be able to go ahead and do this real quick. Where to put my ramrod? There we go. So I'm going to take this piece off. Got my brass bristles here. I'm just going to go ahead and run this through a couple times. If you just jumped on, this has been sitting with part soaker in it for a little bit, or barrel blaster, whatever you want to call it. There we go. Oh man, that looks great. Something that gets me really excited is when I see the muzzle loader coming out nice and clean, like a nice clean barrel. Oops. Alrighty, so I say I gotta watch the time here. I'm gonna just run a quick patch with this on it. Like I said, this is lube. You use it for black powder guns. I actually need to buy another thing of this. What this helps to do, as the name would suggest, is it helps lube the barrel, but it also protects it with proper cleaning from your rust. So just got that. Sometimes a little liquidy, sometimes it's kind of waxy. Just gonna give that a quick rub in like that so it gets all over the patch. I'll put my little adapter back on. And I'm just going to run one of these through, and then as stated, I got to jump off. I'll be back in about 10 minutes or so and finish this job up. So, same thing, just taking that patch and just running that right through the barrel the same way we did with the solvent. See, it's kind of dirty. I might actually, probably should rub the dry patch through. Let me do that. I'll do one of those real quick. Then we'll get some solvent patches put through. But yeah, that one came out a little better. All right, I'm gonna hop off now. Like I said, we'll get back to this as soon as I get back. Or at least pick up where I left off at.